Recorded Books and One Click Digital present Behind the Canvas by Alexander Vance, narrated by Aaron Moon. Chapter 1. Remarkable things, paintings. So different from other types of art. Drawing, after all, is just a single black line, repeated over and over. Chalk has color to it, but it's flat and dusty. Sculpture is just a fancy kind of Play-Doh. And photography, well, there isn't anything to that at all. Just point and shoot. But painting? Made up of hundreds of thousands of tiny little brush strokes. And layers, one color on top of another, sometimes providing depth, sometimes mixing to create a whole new color. All spread over a canvas that adds a texture of its own. Claudia Miravista pushed her face closer to the painting on the museum wall. With her nose just inches away, she could actually see places where the paint rippled up into peaks, like waves on the ocean. She could make out individual brushstrokes the artist used to... Miss Miravista? Her head snapped back as her entire 6th grade class turned to stare at her. Mr. Custos, the museum curator, wiggled his fingertips in her direction. "Let's not breathe on the artwork, shall we?" A few snickers ran through the group of students. Claudia mumbled an apology and felt her light brown cheeks start to burn pink. "Now, let's take a look at a work of art from a completely different time and place," Mr. Custos said, walking along the edge of the gallery. The class trudged behind him. Claudia had mixed feelings about coming on a field trip to the Florence Museum of Arts and Culture. On one hand, she loved art. She'd been to the museum a dozen times before. It wasn't the largest art museum in Illinois, but she could walk to it from her house. She also checked out books from the public library on art history, the big ones that would break all 5 toes if you dropped one on your foot. Even now, sandwiched between her notebooks, she carried her own mini art encyclopedia. Dr. Buckhart's Art History for the Enthusiast and the Ignorant. On the other hand, she secretly loved art. It was hard enough trying to fit in at school without everyone knowing that she spent her free time reading about paintings and artists who had been dead for hundreds of years. "This painting was created by a follower of Caravaggio," Mr. Custos continued, gesturing at a painting of an angel and a man in a way too bright orange robe. "Caravaggio was known for his masterful application of chiaroscuro, which refers to a dramatic use of light and dark in the scene." Chiaroscuro. It sounded like a fancy Italian dessert. Claudia whispered the word to herself. Chiaroscuro. It was fun to say, the way it filled up her mouth. If she ever convinced her parents to let her get a dog, perhaps she would name it Chiaroscuro. Or maybe Rembrandt. Mrs. McCoy, her 6th grade teacher, stepped up next to Mr. Custos. "Class, what do we say to Mr. Custos for taking us on a tour of his museum?" The reply came with the enthusiasm of limp spaghetti. "Thank you, Mr. Custos." The teacher held up a printed worksheet. "Your last assignment today is for you and a partner to find a painting and ask each other these exploratory questions about it. Write down your partner's responses."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.